Well, the bandit himself is coming to town. Burt Reynolds will be in Macon next weekend to participate in the Macon Film Festival. But before he makes his way to Macon, he caught up with our very own Chace Ambrose.
I talked to Burt Reynolds on the phone, and you know, between this job and all of the conventions that I do, I meet a lot of celebrities, and I'm not usually very starstruck, but the chance to get to talk to Burt Reynolds was amazing.
This was a big deal.
And we talked about a few different topics, but we began the conversation by discussing why so many of his films were made in Georgia.
Over the past few years, the movie industry in Georgia has exploded, but before there was Need for Speed, there was Smokey and the Bandit. That film, Cannonball Run, Deliverance, Sharky's Machine, and other Burt Reynolds classics were partially or completely filmed in Georgia.
Well, I called it My Good Luck State. That was number one. Number two was that the Florida governor was totally a jerk about movies coming to Florida. And he had, I think he said something like, "We don't like your movies anyway." I don't know who he was talking about when he said "we." But Georgia was wonderful to me, all about everything.
And Reynolds is no stranger to Macon.
I love Macon, and I have two dear friends that are J.L. and Cindy Parker, who had the lumber company, and they helped me build my house down here for my parents.
Reynolds will be in Macon for the Macon Film Festival, which will host Reynolds for screenings of Sharky's Machine and Deliverance. Deliverance is one of those movies everyone knows and quotes, even if they've never seen it. I asked Reynolds if he had any idea during filming that the movie would have such a lasting effect on popular culture.
No, nobody did, but I think got to credit John Borman for that, because he was the one that found, you know, dueling banjos had been around for a long, long time before we made the picture, and he was the one that found it, brought it in, and put it in as a temporary dub, music dub, and we all loved it, and we stayed with it.
Reynolds says he will answer questions from the audience after the movie screenings. The Macon Film Festival takes place July 16th through the 19th.
Now, for the link to the film festival, which has information on the various tickets and passes, as well as more info on the festival itself, log on to WGXA.tv and we'll link you.
Now, Chace, when you were on that phone call today, it wasn't all professional. You do have a little fan connection there to Burt Reynolds.
I do. I mentioned earlier that I do a lot of conventions. I'm a costumer, and one of the costumes that I have
it's a darn good one.
It's Captain Chaos from the Cannonball Run, which of course was Dom DeLuise's character. I mentioned that I had that costume to Burt Reynolds and told him I was toying with the idea of wearing it to the screening, and he volunteered to autograph it for me, so it looks like I may get a piece of movie memorabilia.
Well, not only do I hope that you do that, I'm hoping also that you do a live shot in that costume.
I may. We'll have to speak to our news director and get that okayed.
We'll see. One thing's for sure, though, he will spot you in that crowd.
He will.
Very quickly.
It stands out just a little bit.
Yeah, it does. All right. Thank you, Chace.
Thank you.